Back in September of 2022, Rockstar was hit with an unprecedented hack, where a large amount of raw game development footage and images were released to the internet for all to see. The teenage hacker had been part of a group of hackers trying to ransom the data back to Rockstar, and ended up releasing it when Rockstar didn't play ball. Many fans were ecstatic to see some early development footage of the well-loved and popular franchise that is GTA. They salivated over it, spreading it every which way while Rockstar did their best to scrub it from the internet, with copyright injunctions against anyone publishing it. Because of this, we can't actually show you any of it here, but have no doubt the internet is permanent. Yes, your dubious and embarrassing search histories are out there somewhere, just like Rockstar's leaked material. People are still poring over the videos and images in order to determine whatever they can about the next GTA game. If you're one of those people who saw the initial leak, or have been interested in it ever since, we'll take you through a few hidden details that you might have missed. The few lines of dialogue that we heard in the mission sequence at the diner reveal that Lucia and Jason are obviously involved romantically. In a GTA ode to Bonnie and Clyde, their relationship is going to be a focal point of the story, with events revolving around it and shaping events. We've also caught a glimpse of code references to character personalities that might be a feature of dialogue options and choices that the player can make in the game. Names such as romantic chaotic, romantic cool, pragmatic chaotic, and pragmatic cool. These might indicate a personality forming around the characters that are shaped by the way the player plays, the choices they make, and the dialogue options that they favor. It could be that these will have an effect on the relationship between Lucia and Jason as the story develops and their character arcs move forward. Depending on which personality your characters develop, could lead to different choices available to you during pivotal chapter missions and moments within the game, eventually culminating in a final endgame choice such as the one Franklin had to make at the end of GTA 5. It might also indicate something similar to Red Dead Redemption 2's honor system, a way for the player to mold Arthur Morgan's personality throughout the game by making choices and choosing to do good or evil things during their playthrough. Arthur's tragic end would be different depending on how honorable or dishonorable the player chose to be. All these are certainly possible, and the clues point to something along those lines being the case. Rockstar's penchant for good storytelling and multi-dimensional characters will certainly give us all some moral and ethical questions as we run rampant in Vice City once more. When GTA 5 characters would get shot, a damp red squib would appear in the area where the bullets had landed on their body, as if bullets were only paintballs, barely making the character flinch, probably due to the limits of the engine at the time. It was more detailed than most games normally went for at the time when depicting injuries on a hitbox. Red Dead 2 took this detail even further, showcasing bullet wounds and gruesome injuries in more detail. GTA 6 is going to push the envelope even more by having the clothing that your character is wearing react to the environment. Sweat, wrinkles, and blood will be presented on your character to make them look a lot more human, turning their Sunday best into hideously tarnished rags if you decide to have a shootout with the police in the middle of the swamps. And it won't just be their blood either. In the same fashion as Red Dead 2, getting up close and personal with your enemies is going to shower you in their blood, hopefully accompanied with extremely satisfying finishes, like this. The soiled mess that you roll around in will eventually fade away with time, but feel free to take a dive in the warm Atlantic waters to scrub it off. It would be nice to see if NPCs will comment on the state of your character, but that's just speculation at this point. At the time of writing, we've only seen Jason showcasing what looks like a special ability, a vision mode similar to Red Dead 2's hunting focus, Assassin's Creed's Eagle Vision, The Witcher 3's Witcher Senses, Batman's detective mode in the Arkham games. You get the idea. Basically a means to visually showcase to the player that the character has some kind of heightened sense mode that allows them to look for clues, hidden items, and so on. Because we can't actually smell, taste, or touch video games yet, as we are limited by the technology of our time, developers have come to more or less the same conclusion in trying to get us all to look over there at that shiny thing. Rockstar has broadened its approach to giving its playable characters special abilities. The Red Dead characters had Deadeye, slowing time to pick shots and gun down your enemies like a real Western gunslinger. GTA 5 gave the 3 playable characters their own unique abilities as well. Franklin had his driving focus that allowed him to slow down time when driving. Michael had his area kill ability, similar to Red Dead's Deadeye that gave him an edge in shootouts. And of course, Trevor had his Red Mist ability that allowed him to go absolutely berserk and become practically invincible. During heists and pivotal chapter missions in GTA 5, the characters each had their own role to play. Enhanced by their special abilities, it made switching between them a new and interesting way to approach these missions. GTA 6 seems to have taken this idea and run with it even further. Being able to switch pretty much instantly between Lucia and Jason indicates that having them both in close proximity to each other is probably the way the game is intended to be played. This will allow the player to capitalize on Jason's special ability as well as Lucia's, whatever that might be, where the two characters complement each other and offer a fun new approach to GTA. Previously in GTA, your character was either alive and kicking or wasted, the colloquial term for being room temperature due to absorbing too many police bullets. Your health could be low, but there were never really any consequences to being a mere fender bender from death's door. Now, it seems that your character can suffer from concussions, however that might actually play out. I'm told that you're not supposed to sleep for 24 hours, or you might die. But this rider has had one too many head injuries to really recall what his doctor has told him. We don't know for sure, but this might mean a plethora of possible injuries that could befall your unfortunate character, such as sprains, broken bones, burns, gunshot wounds obviously, and so on. Additional items such as trauma kits and first aid items suggest that dealing with injuries is going to be slightly more complicated than consuming a health item to fill up an HP bar. More consumable items also hint at things that may grant status buffs, but who knows? Either way, it'll add a few new immersive dimensions if you've got to hobble around, slowly staggering to a hospital with a sucking chest wound, letting daylight into your vital organs. Do you remember the murder mystery in Red Dead Redemption 2, where Arthur Morgan could follow a trail of grisly breadcrumbs and piece together a map to a hidden location? There he'd be confronted by a very unhinged individual, stylized as a Jack the Ripper type. Letters to the editor and all. In the leaked files of GTA 6, there were references to a missing tourist and a missing tourist trophy room. It's not a huge leap to imagine that this might yet again be another Rockstar murder mystery, planted into the game for players to solve. No spoilers thus far on this one, as those 2 lines are all any of us have to go on. For all we know, they might have been eaten by gators. Moving characters in and out of cover in GTA 5 felt like a chore. Likewise in Red Dead 2, where moving the hulking, slow-trudging lummox of Arthur Morgan really seemed to slow down firefights. GTA 6 has done away with getting into cover by pressing a button. It looks like characters will now assume some cover automatically when pressed against something hard when the lead starts flying. This will give firefights a much faster pace and allow for more fluid movements. Coupled with being able to switch between the 2 protagonists, this could make solid flanking maneuvers a lot easier to pull off. Something that you were able to do in GTA 4, provided that your wanted level was low enough. You could allow Nico Bellic to get on his knees with his hands above his head and be busted rather than wasted. Why would you want to do this was simple enough. You'd lose less money and you would still have access to your weapons. In GTA 6 though, the benefits might not be the same. Loot and weapons will more than likely be confiscated, and the playable character that is busted will be incapacitated. However, this might lend itself to an interesting new gameplay loop that would only be available to someone playing as 2 different people in the same space. It may be that if you're quick enough either as Jason or Lucia, you might be able to break out your partner in crime while they're pinned to the floor or stuffed in the back of a police van. Failing that, you might just find that you have to make do with only one character for a set in-game time until their partner is released. This is GTA after all, and the wanton committal of crimes carries basically no consequences. For now, at least. What would a cute little couple of criminal rogues be without their little safe houses? Places to lay low, count the money, split the loot, and kith. Lucia and Jason will have a number of these places, both permanently acquirable and temporarily transient. Campsites and motels will offer quite a few locations to lay low from the law, and campervans and RVs will even offer a mobile place to pitch up for a while, in a way that works similar to Red Dead 2's campsites. properties will also be available in the game to buy with your ill-gotten gains, and you could offer more places to put your feet up and thumb through wads of cash, as well as a place to store weapons, as you won't be able to carry them in an all-magic weapon wheel anymore. If you attempt to rob a shop and get away with it, don't expect a warm welcome on your return. Storekeepers will remember you and will refuse you service if you attempt to use the store legitimately. They may not even offer you that courtesy and simply call the police. We don't know if this will be a permanent thing or if it will have a long cooldown on it. Maybe changing your appearance could affect it, as that is definitely something that you could do in the game. Just be careful who you decide to openly rob. They likely won't be the forgiving and forgetting type. So there you have it, a few details that you might have missed from the leaked material. If you enjoyed this and all things Rockstar and GTA, then click some of these videos on screen and we promise it won't disappoint. Or you can do all the YouTube stuff to let the Do Ex Machina know that you want more. Obey, consume, submit.